Hey guys, it's Melody again. I have another 12 by 12 layout to share with you, but first I'm going to show you what my plan is for my next two layouts. So I have these photos from Kaylin's preschool photos, the ones we had taken when he was in his first year of preschool, and they were taken obviously around Christmas time. So I have a couple different ones that I printed, and I'm going to do a two-page spread. They're not going to be together, but they are going to coordinate. So the left one will be in pink, and the right one will be in this neutral, and then I'm going to embellish them to kind of complement each other. Again, it's not really a true double page spread, but I am going to keep in mind the colors in both of them and see if I can make them complement each other since the photos do go together. So I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up of what this was, and then also stay tuned. In the next couple days you'll see the next layout. You'll see the gray side of this layout. So here we go. Starting on the first side, I knew I wanted to use this black and white photo, but I wasn't sure what other photo I wanted to use. So I just started with matting this black and white photo on this kind of gray neutral ledger paper. And then I was looking at it and just trying the different ones, not sure what I wanted to do here. I did want to journal a little bit since these are his preschool photos. I wanted to journal a little bit just about how he's grown so much this year. This was only a few months into preschool, and I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that, a little bit of an overall. But I decided pretty quickly to go with a grid style layout. So I have the smaller photo on the top right, I have this black and white photo on the left, and then I do have my journaling spot here on the right under the smaller color photo. And I'm just going to write out my journaling, and I'm going to try this a couple different ways in different pens, and you're going to see me try them here. And then I'm going to settle on this Prismacolor pen. It's in black. It's like a 01. I think the size is like 0.01 or something like that. But because it is so thin, it almost appears gray, and it looked a little bit better on the layout versus the real bold Sharpie, though I do like the way the Sharpie looks. So I did not pre-write the journaling here, and I don't know, that could have been a bad thing, but I make a small mistake in a moment, but I do just write over it, and it's barely noticeable. I notice every single time I look at the layout, but it's really not that noticeable. And let me grab it, I'll tell you what it says. Sorry, I had to go back and get it. Then I almost fell out of my chair. So it actually says, "You grew up so much this year, baby boy, your first year of preschool, and you really found yourself, coming out of your shy shell and making lots of friends. You got to try new things, finding independence along the way, which scares me so much. So proud of you and who you are becoming." And that's what it says. Just a little note to him, since he's going to be the one I expect, I guess, him to be the one who looks through these albums later on in life. Especially since he's our only child together. I do have a stepson that's 13, but Kaylin is our only child together for Ernest and I. And so I expect that these albums will most likely, he'll be most interested in these than anybody else, I believe. So, I'm leaving little messages along the way to him in the album, so as he reads through these, or as our grandkids read through these, they'll get to kind of get a glimpse into what our life was like, and what was important to us and all of that. Now I'm flipping through this snap kind of, I don't know if it's an embellishment kit. I don't know. It's a pack of stuff. So it has a bunch of different size cards in here. And I wanted to use this kind of teal diagonal stripe, but because I matted the large 4x6 photo, it was slightly wider than 4 inches, so I couldn't use the 4x4 block, and I thought about using two 2x2 blocks and kind of spacing them out just slightly just to kind of match the grid pattern. But because I'm going to put my title on here, I didn't want to have to kind of go over a gap in the 2 blocks. Excuse me. So I just settle on this one and cut it down. I made sure that the other side of this was something I probably wouldn't use, and it was like happy to you, but it was in yellow tones and all of that. So I didn't think I'd use that as much. Now I did have this little paper bag that had kind of a scallop edge, and I thought that'd be a nice little thing to put down here in the bottom. And then I am going to cut another one here shortly that I'll put on the top right. And you're going to see these gemstones come into play a couple times, and I never end up figuring out how to make it work. But I do try. They look really cute on the white paper, but whenever I actually put it on the pink paper, it just, I don't know, you can see the pink through it and it changed the color, and then I didn't like the way it looked because it looked like it was just a clear gem on top of pink paper instead of being a colored gem, which is what I wanted it to look like. So I scrapped that idea. Here's where I'm cutting that kind of scallop up there. At first I had done the same angle that was at the bottom, but it seemed too large, so I made more of a sharp kind of oval angle. And I'm going to pull in a bit of this pink ribbon. And I put it down in the bottom by where I'm going to put my title, and I'll also put it on the top right. I'm going to make a small cluster up here, and I do apologize that it's kind of off the screen and a little bit washed out with the lighting. You're not going to see it as well here, but you will see it shortly. Now I have these epoxy stickers, and I really like this. I'm just stapling it on so I don't lose it. I really like this pink diagonal stripe, and you're going to see me play with it a few times, and then it does end up on the layout. Have these Cosmo Cricut letter or word stickers, and I pulled them out to go with my August kit, stash kit, because they had a lot of the bright colors. They have pinks and yellows and oranges and greens on here. And funny enough, blue is not part of my kit, but I'm actually using the blue embellishments that I've included because they were in on pieces where the other colors were. And these words just say different things. I wanted to pull in some blue into the layout, some more blue, and it says, the first one says possibilities, and it says just because. Then the next one is you make my days brighter, and then be true to yourself. The small one is believe, and then it says believe in goodness. And then the very last one, which I'm going to change here, the very last one is actually pink. It just didn't seem to be quite long enough, and I was out of blue ones. So it says always believe in yourself. That was a nice one to kind of put at the end. And I've staggered them so they don't end or begin at the same points. And I'm kind of playing around. This is where I'm playing with those jewels, and I just don't like them. So I'm going to pull out some of my own homemade enamel dots, and I have that pink epoxy sticker at the bottom, but it will be moved. And here we go. I started to put multiple things there, but I ended up just liking the two. Now, this video will cut off at the very end, so we've got a couple more minutes before that actually happens, but you're going to miss me adhering the enamel dots and then a couple other small things. But I'll explain that through whenever we get to the still shots at the end. So I'm trying to figure out what my title is going to be, and I start with these daily flash October afternoon letters, and I wanted to put big boy, but I didn't have an I, so I had to kind of cut an H to look like an I, and it would have worked. It looks fine. But I don't know. I started looking through for a subtitle, alphas to do a subtitle with, and I came across these rubber alphas that are kind of pink, and I love the way they look. And I said, you know what, let me try these instead. So I start to do this, and I start putting on, well, I'm going to put these back first, but you'll see me, I start putting on the pink ribbon, and it kind of clashes with the rubber alpha because it's a different pink, and this is where I'm like, not really. So I go through my ribbon stash here. Now I have a ton more ribbon, but this is all my American Crafts ribbon, and I come out with this kind of minty teal chevron, arrow chevron. I'm not sure what you would call this ribbon since it's only like one chevron. It doesn't really continue. So, and I'm going to create a little bit of an arrow shape with it. And I'm going to use that as the grounding element for my title, but it's also going to kind of run off the block just so it doesn't look quite so boxy. So, and I'll put back this uppercase B, and I'm going to use lowercase b's here. So it's going to say big boy, and then my subtitle is big heart. Big boy, big heart. Of course, I don't have any O's, so I have to do a bit of finagling. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. And I don't like the way that I cut that O, so I'm going to cut another one. But I'll put this one back on the sheet just in case I get in a pinch later and I need an O. I just cut up the Q's is what I did because I do not expect that I'll be using the Q's anytime soon. So this says big boy, and I will move this one more time before it gets settled. Or maybe twice actually. I think I move it 2 more times. And I'm going to use the small tile stickers to do my subtitle. And I wanted to use these little white ones, but I don't have enough of the right letters. So I'm going to put I played around with a couple different titles, but I ended up doing, because I was going to do big boy, little buddy, because we call him our buddy. But that was going to be too long, so I changed my mind. And then I'm like, okay, well, these don't really fit. So I'm going to move it over. And it actually makes it, what is it, left justified. So it goes right up to the edge of the block, and it looks visually a little bit more appealing. And then I still put these down, and they're still too wide, but these tiles have a lot of kind of blank space on the outside of the letters, so you can trim off quite a bit. They don't look too spaced out if you put them right next to each other, but for this situation, it actually worked out great that I was able to trim off a little bit. And then I did leave gaps in the letters because I did not trim them exactly straight, so it would have left like gaps naturally anyways. So I just purposefully left gaps between the letters. So I've got big boy, and then I've got heart. So I'm just going to put big heart right above that. I really like the way this turned out. I'm not afraid to use pink with pictures of my boys, either my husband or my son or our other son. I'm not afraid to use pink at all. I love pink. It's probably my favorite color. So, yeah, if you're a boy and you're in my family, you might be on a pink layout. So do not get offended. I'm going to use the little cutoff piece that I used here from the bottom. I'm going to put it up here in this top cluster. There we go. And then I'm going to adhere, and this is where the video cuts off. So I'm just going to adhere the heart up here with the enamel dot, the 2 enamel dots on the bottom right, the 2 enamel dots on the bottom left, and then you'll see at the very bottom I end up adding 2 strips of the ribbon. I add the pink ribbon and then the teal ribbon on top of that. I just felt like it needed a little bit more of a border at the bottom. So anyways, that's the layout. Thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I post videos about 3 times a week, so there'll be more things coming soon. All right, thank you guys. Bye.